Well, I'm now joined by Iranian-born investigative journalist Potkin Azarmehr. Thank you so much for coming in. Has Iran now shot its bolt? Is there more that Iran can do beyond these 180 ballistic missiles?
Iran doesn't seem to have the economy for a war, and I think it seems that Israel has more options at its disposal. It's right on top of the intelligence war with Iran. It has a superior air force, and it can target Iran's oil installations, infrastructures, and in the worst case scenario, even the nuclear installations. But Iran has always been relying on its proxy groups, and the thing is the proxy groups, for the first time, are being dismantled.
And it was quite stupid, wasn't it, of the US government a year ago to release $6 billion to the Iranian government, which it's had the ability to spend on arms and on its proxies.
Oh, it gave them a lifeline. I mean, Iran was down on its knees, and suddenly they got this handful of cash. They couldn't believe it themselves. And to make it worse, I remember John Kerry was being stupid enough to say, Iran's not going to spend that on its proxies. It's going to spend on its economy, on its people. How naive can you get a politician of that level?
And the President of the United States, President Biden, has said he doesn't want Israel to hit the nuclear sites in Iran. Don't you think that if they did, and that Iran as a nuclear power was postponed for another few years, that would actually be a thoroughly good thing?
I think Israel has other options for now, though. I think that is really a worst-case scenario, and no one wants any nuclear installations to be held. I mean, the consequences of nuclear radiation...
But isn't it very important to stop Iran becoming a nuclear power, or do you think Iran already is a nuclear power?
I think they're buying time to become a nuclear power. That's definitely on their agenda. How far they are from becoming a nuclear power, I don't know, but that is where they want to go. This is why they want to buy time. This is why the Iranian president went to the UN General Assembly meeting and was so reconciliatory, because Iran wants to buy time. But I think we still got some time before that, Israel has options to resort to.
And is your understanding of Iran, obviously you were born there, what do you think would be the most sensitive things to hit beyond the nuclear sites that are in range of the Israeli military?
Well, as I said, Iran doesn't have the economy, so anything that can further collapse the economy and stop its income, so oil installations, for example, would be devastating to Iran. Which is, again, that's why I'm saying that, we've still got some way to go before hitting the nuclear installation is really the last resort, and I don't think we're there yet. But as long as Iran doesn't have the economy, they won't get into a engage in a full-scale war. They will rely on their proxy groups, as they have before, but their proxy groups are being dismantled now as well.
And the Iranian government looks to be, from the outside, a very strong, very aggressive, stable administration. Is that the reality? And what do the people of Iran think about the government that they've got?
The overwhelming majority of the people are against the regime. There's ample evidence for that. But don't forget, even a minority of 5% that are armed and organised and strong can rule the majority of the people. I mean, let's not forget Soviet Union. Only 2% of the population were members of the Communist Party, but they could manage to put that hold on the people. And until the collapse, I don't think anyone could predict when the collapse was going to happen. They looked strong as well. But in reality, they weren't. The economy collapsed. And I think that's what will happen in Iran as well.
And the collapse in the Soviet Union came from the top because Gorbachev ceased to believe in communism and then it all fell away. It doesn't look as if there's any prospect of the Ayatollahs stopping believing in having an Islamic state that will be a very rigorous theocratic state.
There is a lot of internal division within the regime. And the smaller the boat gets that they can jump on, then the more infighting there will be. Don't bank on this facade at the moment that they're strong and they're sort of like united, and they're not. The reason I think the Israelis are getting on top of the intelligence war is precisely because they're exploiting the dissatisfaction from within the Iranian regime, from within the security apparatus.
So they understand what's going on in detail within the Iranian government, within the Iranian security services, and are then using that to their advantage.
Much better than the Western governments, I believe, yeah. They seem to be more clued on about what is going on in Iran, and they're having very good intelligence, it seems.
Wasn't one of the silliest things the West did, that deal with Iran that gave Iran lots of money, which has simply, over the last few years, allowed them to build up their resources? And wasn't Donald Trump right to cancel it?
Well, again, the overwhelming majority of the Iranians supported Trump.
Interesting, right.
It might be surprising to some of the Western commentators, but they thought that he was the only US president that actually stood up to the regime. But apart from Western governments appeasing the Iranian regime, they've also allowed the Iranian regime to build its influence and its network of outlets within these countries. I mean, recently the Policy Exchange think tank produced an 87-page report on Iran's influence in Britain. 87 pages. And even that 87 pages didn't include all of Iranian outlets within the UK.
So, as I was saying in my introduction, it matters to us. Just a final thought that's occurred to me. It's Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday, and he, of course, was president when there were all those hostages taken in Tehran by the Ayatollah Khamenei's government. Anyway, thank you very much, Potkin, for coming in.